What is up, YouTubers, gamers, and hobbyists? Welcome to this P&Q Halloween special. And this could be one of the last P&Qs I do in Plymouth. Possibly. I was going to go for filming it in the studio, but I thought I'll film it here. And I'm trying to get some spooky kind of lighting going on here. I don't know. Probably just I'm doing my best here to do like spooky or lights here. So I've got an LED lamp and I've turned it to a kind of an orangey setting to kind of give a more of a glow. Because if I go blue ones, I don't think it works quite so well, or the white ones. I think the orangey setting is the best one. Yes, it's more in keeping, and turning off the main light there, which isn't LED by the way, but I thought this kind of lends itself more to being a bit spooky. Actually, in our daughter's old bedroom, which is now just another spare room because she moved out. So there's a little bit of an update for you as well there. But I've got a Halloween special. I've got some questions and I've got some fun facts which I thought would be quite cool. And a couple of questions from a couple of friends of mine. And these are going to be in no particular order. So if you're new to this is the question and answer series where you ask me a question or put a comment to me and talk about it. I answer them. It's kind of fun. This series used to be my favourite overall. It's kind of been taken over a bit by On the Bench now, but who knows, when I get to Seaton, when I move, that might change. I might bring this back on a more regular basis. Who knows? Just moving my camera slightly there. So I've got a smaller bench in front of me now. Yeah, so I'm using this room as a kind of a, I don't know, mini studio. Because I didn't want to go out to the studio, the main studio, because it's cold, quite frankly. I didn't want to wait for the heating to come up. Now the bills are so dear, etc. I didn't want to wait for it to heat up. It doesn't take long, but I just didn't want to be out there. I just didn't. Right, so this is the P&Q Halloween special. I'm going to start with a question I had from a work colleague. Now, they ask, what is it about the natural soaps that you like so much? Now, so we're starting with something personal. Now, if you don't know, I've recently, as in this year, gotten into the use of natural soaps. Let's have another sip of coffee, by the way. By that I mean soaps with no chemicals in and things like that. I like soaps from a company called Dr. Squatch. You may see them advertised on YouTube. I did because I was kind of curious about it. It started when I read a story online about a guy that went to the beach. Saw this guy collecting seaweed, putting it in a bag. He's like this surfer dude. He said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm collecting seaweed. I like seaweed baths." And you asked, "Seaweed bath? What's that about?" He said, "Well, it's really, really, really good for your skin because I suffer with eczema and that kind of thing, and bad skin conditions." He said, "This really, really helps." So he thought, I wonder if that would work, for me and my wife. And this guy, to cut a long story short, he collected up his own lot of seaweed in a bag, took it home, had a seaweed bath. His wife came in and said, "What the heck are you doing?" So I'm trying this thing out. It's a seaweed bath, supposed to be good for your skin. He said, "Oh, I'm going to have one too." So they did, obviously, and they liked it so much, and they thought, this really, really works. So they ended up creating their own natural soap business. It came from seaweed baths to let's make soaps and soap products. Not Dr. Squatch, but that's another one. But that's how I started with that. I started with a local company. It was called Emma's Soaps. My wife got the initial order in because she discovered where to get it and that sort of thing. But now I've moved on to men's natural soaps, which is Dr. Squatch. They do soaps for all occasions. You can get shaving soap, you can get shampoo soap. Not that I need much of that, as you can see. But yeah, that's where it all started from, and the smells are divine. No harsh chemicals, so really good for you. And my skin has really, really improved. Not that I had bad skin to begin with, but it's just not so dry and that kind of thing. And I really, really enjoy it. I've got a load of them now. Each bar of soap smells so different. they're not cheap. They're not the cheapest thing in the world. But what's the alternative? You get a 99p bottle of chemicals and put that on you. That's not doing you any good, really. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go natural. I'll never look back. So that's what I like about them so much. But it's the smell initially. As soon as I get in the shower in the mornings, I start lathering myself up with the Dr. Squatch, and I'm like, puts a big smile on my face, sets me up for the day. It's like, yeah, really, really good. Let's have another bit of coffee then. Right. So it actually came from a work colleague of mine. And who knows, they may watch these. So we're going to go on to another friend of mine. He didn't ask me any questions. He sent me some fun facts on an email. Because I asked him to. Did you know any fun facts about Halloween? He sent me a couple. So I know these. So fun facts. Fun fact 1 is a question. What were jack-o'-lanterns originally carved from? Because, you know, we do the pumpkins and carve out the scary face and all that kind of thing. And the answer is actually turnips. And I find that, like, very, very strange because, like, turnips aren't very big. But that said, I can remember when I was a kid carving out little potato heads, and doing scary faces in the potatoes, putting little birthday candles in each one. And that was kind of fun. I remember that. I did that when I was a kid in Seaton once before. Going back, way back when. So that's kind of an interesting fun fact there. So originally they were turnips. That is bizarre because turnip is a strange shape, isn't it? Another fun fact he sent me in the form of a question. He said, who was the first actor to play the Wolfman? This is a bit of a quiz, isn't it? So who was the first actor to play the Wolfman in movies? And the answer is Lon Chaney Jr. I hope I've got that right. And that was in 1941. It's an American movie. Yeah, Lon Chaney Jr. Black and white horror movie. Okay. Oh, here's a good one he sent me. About how long ago did Halloween originate? And what would you say? I don't know. When he first posed that question to me, I said a few hundred years, maybe 400 or 500 years. The answer is most scholars agree that Halloween, as we know it, originated some 2,000 years ago, when Celtic people in Europe celebrated the end of the harvest and the start of a new year in a festival called Samhain, pronounced Samhain. Or Samhain. That's what it's got. What can I tell you? Samhain it looks like, that's how it's spelt. But anyway. Okay, and then the final fun fact that I was sent was about the origins of the jack-o'-lantern itself. Now I'm going to have a cup of coffee, or a sip of coffee for this one. This is a long one. Don't worry, we'll get to your questions in a moment, the rest of you. Okay. Okay, right. So jack-o'-lantern comes from the legend of Stingy Jack. Legend has it that Stingy Jack invited the devil to have a drink with him, but Jack didn't want to pay for the drink, so he convinced the devil to turn himself into a coin. Instead of buying the drink, he pocketed the coin and kept it close to a silver cross in his house, preventing the devil from taking shape again. He promised to let the devil go if he would leave him alone for a year, and that if Jack died, the devil wouldn't claim his soul. After a year, Jack tricked the devil again to leave him alone and not claim his soul. And when Jack died, God didn't want to have such a conniving person in heaven, and the devil, true to his word, would not allow him into hell. This is just how it was sent to me. So Jack went off into the night with only a burning coal to light his path. He placed the coal inside a carved out turnip and has been roaming the earth ever since. People in Ireland and Scotland began creating their own creations of jack-o'-lanterns out of turnips, beets and potatoes. The tradition travelled to the United States along with the immigrants, and people began to use pumpkins native to North America for the lanterns instead. Now, I know that it originated in Ireland, or so I believe. I heard it all, the whole thing for Halloween originated in Ireland, but I didn't know that. Okay, so I've got a question from another friend. It's not on YouTube. We'll call him Tom. Tom says, how is it you hobby plan for the future, given that you're... So before I start this question, let's just reflect on those fun facts. So they were just sent to me. They're facts. Some of them I didn't know. I know about the Samhain. I always pronounced it Samhain, but apparently it's pronounced Samhain. So I knew about that though. I didn't know about the turnips and the jack-o'-lantern chicken the devil. Didn't know that bit. Yeah, so let's go to my friend, who we will call Tom. As you know, so I'm going to dash into it. I have a retirement shelf, retirement stash, whatever you call it. You've seen it in videos past, you know, and it's grown and taken shape, and it's all packed away now, sadly. Sad face emoji. That's for my work colleagues. So, Tom basically says, how is it you hobby plan for the future, given that your, and in brackets, our attentions for excitement are so short and move from one thing to the next, such as fantasy to sci-fi, or wargaming to role-playing, etc. Well, it's easy. I just think, well, just because I change my kind of hobby excitement allegiance from fantasy to sci-fi, that doesn't mean I'm never going to come back to fantasy again. So in the future, of course I will. And I like to, when I get to Seaton, which I will do, I want to have a bit of a backup, if you like, of hobby stash, just in case I'm not able to get any for a while, so that I can call upon my stash to do bits and pieces of hobby stuff, you know, whether it's Warhammer, bolt action, just general modelling and, you know, and wargaming in general, or role playing, whatever it may be. So that's how, really, I just, you know, I'm still, my attention span, I don't believe is going to change or get any better or worse, hopefully. But I will, I am planning for the future. One day, I will actually retire proper. Yeah. And then I will need my stash, won't I? So I've got to keep it kind of topped up. It's kind of like topping up the electric or gas. I like to keep it at a certain level. I don't like it to get below that. So that's why. That's how I'm able to do it. Right. So now that's page 1 done. That's that all done. So now I'm going to move on to questions that were asked me from other YouTubers. And top of the list here is who took my dice? Steve, who says, "Oh, another one." All right, question. He's got two questions for me here. So, question 1: what is your favourite part of the whole hobby experience? Oh, that's a good question, Steve. My favourite part is probably, I would have to say, whether it's role playing or wargaming or just modelling, painting in general, I would have to say my favourite part of the whole hobby experience is the immersion and the losing myself in another world, if you will. You know, whether it's fantasy, sci-fi, World War II, whatever it is, you know, any other historical stuff. Might get into Romans one day, you know, who knows? Who knows, right? It's the immersion. And I just like looking at little miniatures representing such immersion. Okay, 2. What gaming universe would you most like to visit, and which would you least like to visit? That's a toughie. Which gaming universe would I most... Ooh. That's a tough one, Sonny Jim. Ooh, which gaming universe would I most like to visit? Wow. I think... Do you know, I'm finding that bit difficult. I can tell you the gaming universe I would least like to visit. That's easy. That would be the Warhammer 40k universe. I would least like to visit that one because grim dark, right? All right then. I'm gonna say the universe I would most like to visit would be Middle Earth. There's just something about it. I can't put my finger on what that is. It's just a sort of a charm about it that I really, really like, and therefore Middle Earth would be the gaming universe I would most like to visit. But the 40k universe, easily the least favourite for me there that I would most like to visit. Okay, I have a comment from someone called Storm Rider who says, I would like to see you do some solo play of Bolt Action. Well, Storm Rider, once I get to Seaton and I'm all sorted in terms of my new studio, which will be house-based, so basically I'll have a room, it'll be bigger than this room, but I'll have a room once I get that, because I'm going to have a painting table set up. I think all being well, the house we're hopefully moving to, my painting table, which I'm going to set up in front of the window there. I'm going to have a gaming table in there as well, set up as well, and that's going to incorporate tabletop war games, role-playing games, board games, you name it, it's going to incorporate that. So at some point I will do some solo play of Bolt Action, for sure, absolutely I will. I just need to get there, get settled in, get sorted out first, because there are things I need to do once I get there. There's some work I need to contract a company for to do. I need them to board out the loft, basically, because it's all insulated, it's fully insulated, but it needs to be boarded. Once it's boarded, I can then store some stuff into there, because until that happens, I have to store a lot of our excess items we have into what will essentially become my new studio. So, but I've got to get that done first, so it's going to be a long process. However, I'm hoping there will be some cool behind the scenes stuff, some extra videos and vlogs along the way. But the answer is I'm going to do it. Well, my response is I'm going to be doing that, definitely, for sure. Thank you for that comment. I really appreciate that, Storm Rider. Okay, we have a question from Idic Beer 40k, Necrons and more. Necrons. So what does Mr. Idic Beer, what does Nick have to ask me? He says, what was your best Halloween costume you have had? And do you still play Zombicide? The best Halloween costume I ever had, it was a Scream costume. Simple, straightforward, the black hood, the mask, everything, the knife, just go around. It was just an easy costume, and I had a blast. It was easy. It's an easy one to put on and wear and go to parties and whatever else. That's easily the best Halloween costume I've ever had. Do you still play Zombicide? Yes, I do. Well, haven't been able to play much of anything for a very long time, and I'm pretty sad about that. I'm definitely going through some withdrawal symptoms, gaming and hobby-wise right now. As you can probably imagine, can you imagine not playing with your Necrons for months on months on months on end. It is not good. I haven't been able to play anything, not even role playing, nothing. So yeah, but yeah, well, like I say, once we get settled, the Zombicide will come out. We'll crack open that bad boy again, and yeah, we'll hit the gaming tables with that once more. I think my wife and I will have fun with that once we've moved in and settled in Seaton. Right. Last question now, the last but not the least, is Brian from the channel Mini Walmart. Go and check him out. So, he's got a few questions for me. Right. What is your favourite Halloween horror miniature game? Horror miniature game. Well, if you class Aliens as a horror, some people class it as a horror movie, some people class it as a sci-fi movie, some people class it as a sci-fi horror. The Aliens game is my best horror miniatures game, I suppose, because that's just because I love Aliens so much. I love that whole franchise. I just think it's super cool. I really do. I mean, Zombicide, yes, zombies. I don't necessarily class zombies as horror. It's more apocalyptic. It's not like spooky in that way. My favourite spooky board game is Haunted House. Do you remember the Haunted House restoration I did back along? If I remember, I'll put a link. That is easily my favourite Halloween spooky board game because nostalgia, memories, it's what got me into ghosts and ghouls and spooky stuff when I was a kid, and I just absolutely love it. Have you ever encountered a ghost? I don't think so. I've encountered some strange stuff, things I can't explain. Where I live currently, there's a valley, yeah. Of a night, that's a pretty spooky place. It really is. I was tempted to do some filming in there, tonight, nighttime. It's not ideal for filming in pitch black or with a torch. Maybe I'll see how that goes. There's some, I don't know. It's just I've experienced strange stuff there and in other woods where I used to live in Plymouth, another woodland. I think that's more down to strange wildlife and things like that. Yeah, there's a multitude of strange stuff. Lots of my family members have encountered ghosts, and I believe them. Too numerous to name. I myself have never, not a full-on ghost. Our cat often goes strange things, but they could see in a different spectrum, can't they? I had a dog once who went absolutely bananas. Hacker was up barking at the corner of the room once in a flat where I used to live when I was still a student at university many years ago, and there was absolutely nothing there to my eyes. I could see nothing. So whether there was a ghost there then, I don't know. I couldn't see anything. Would I like to experience it? Yeah. I'd like to be able to say, yes, I've experienced a ghost, and I saw a spectre or a apparition or something. I wouldn't mind going on like one of these haunted exploration things, like where they go into like a so-called haunted castle or something, like they spend the night and they do filming and all that kind of stuff. I'd quite like that, they go around with instruments trying to record things. It never seems to amount to much. A few strange noises, a few... Got some noises going on now. I don't know if that's from somewhere else in the house. Ghosts in the house. So I'm not on my own now, so I know it's probably my wife. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that sort of thing. So that'd be quite cool, I think. You know, to do that sort of thing. Let's move on to another question you have. Will you have any miniature game playthroughs in the near future? I don't know about the near future. If I take out the word near, will you have any miniature game playthroughs in the future? Absolutely, I will. But as I say, it all depends on how soon I can get settled into my new home, set up. You know, there's loads of stuff. There's loads of work to do. Absolutely, I will in the future. Definitely. That's a definite. That's, you know, definitely. I want to do some playthroughs of all my Zombicides, my classic, my Invader, my Black Plague, you know, all that, the whole bit. I want to do all those. Do some more Alien. I just want to. Will you have another Zombicide game playthrough in the near future? Yes. I will have another Zombicide game playthrough in the near future. Well, in the future. Again, in the future. I can't say near future. It's definitely the future though. I'm probably going to buy, because I've got the original Zombicide game, of course, but I'm probably going to update it for like the second edition of that, because I can still use my old miniatures for that, and I can use all the game tiles. Basically, I'm going to get, but it will give me the new tiles with more wounds, etc., and it will help me to be able to expand upon my original, because I've got the original, the very first one that came out still. Is there going to be another solo RPG series like the Dwarves RPG you did about a year ago? Was it that long ago now, was it? Yes, there will be. Actually, that needs to be concluded, needs to be finished. I'm still doing that. And yes, there is definitely going to be other solo RPG series. I want to be trying out different rule sets as well. I've got a load of 5e games and campaign ideas I want to be running through. Some classic stuff as well as some homebrew stuff. I'm all set up for the Curse of Strahd. I've got all that on the way. I've got the rulebook for it, obviously. But I'm getting, you know, miniatures and stuff, and DM screens, because they've got really useful, cool information that will help me run the game on camera. It's better to run an RPG game on the camera, I think, because I've always said it's good to talk out what's going on in the game rather than just simply writing it out. As a solo experience, the camera, you guys are going to give me that experience. The fact that I'm doing it on the camera, and it will help, and I will explain all that and about solo and how that's going to work in the future. That's a definite. Right, question number 6. Which one? Wolfman or Mummy? And why? Wolfman. Yeah, for sure. Because Mummy, I don't know, I always found the Mummy a bit meh, you know, just some old rags walking around, and yeah, it's just, I like the Wolfman and the changes, and you know, you know, all that kind of stuff going on, especially the old Hammer House of Horror stuff. Brilliant. I just prefer the Wolfman. I find the Wolfman more fun, whereas I've always found the Mummy a bit, oh no, I just find it a bit boring, a bit dull. Number 7. This is the last question. It says, favourite Thanksgiving dinner plate food? Well, we don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving here. Although it's a tradition which I respect, and I think it's a good tradition to have. And I'm certainly thinking of having a Thanksgiving ceremony. It might not be at the traditional Thanksgiving time, but when we move, I feel, in terms of manifestation, in order to get there, I want to be doing I'm going to be doing I've got all sorts of plans once I get to Seaton. And one of those things I'm going to be doing is giving thanks for how I got there, and I want to celebrate that. So, a meal for Thanksgiving, what would I have? It's a very good question. I'm a steak and chips type of guy. I think that would be a good one, because it's tricky because Mrs. Minnie is a strict vegetarian, so it wouldn't be a meal I could share with her. My traditional Christmas meals, I like turkey. You know, I've had all different things over the years. I've had goose. I've had free fish roast. I've had all sorts. Even I don't mind chicken roast on it, but you know, I like something a bit different. Turkey's good, and we might have turkey this year, purely because we may have people coming to visit and stay with us. Oops, my question just fallen off, I think. So yeah, but I think for my Thanksgiving meal, I would like to celebrate it with a steak. I don't know. If I didn't have a steak, because I did a vegan challenge, I did a 7-day vegan challenge about over a year ago now, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because it forced us to look at recipes, make food, and where we're hopefully going to be moving to, it's got a massive kitchen, far bigger than the one we have now, so it will enable us to do more explorative cooking projects, shall we say? Projects. For instance, I'm going to start baking. I'm going to make pasties because I used to be a baker. I used to be a pasty maker. That was my main role, was making pasties. All different aspects of that. I've done it all, bread and all the rest of it, and you know, the sweet stuff as well, cakes and things, and I've done all that. But pasties was my primary role. So I'm gonna bake pasties. I don't want to take anything away from the bakery that's there though, because that's good. I'm just gonna bake for my immediate family, so that's gonna be cool. But yeah, I'm gonna say my favorite Thanksgiving meal is gonna be steak and chips with some peas. You know, I don't know what Mrs. Minnie Warzone would have. But when we get to Seaton, we are going to do that. And I think we're going to make it a tradition, a Thanksgiving tradition, and we'll have it on our calendar, probably the day we move there. That'll be our Thanksgiving. I think that night we should go out for a meal and celebrate. Definitely. There's quite a few places we can go for that. Anyway, that's all I've got. Brian says, "Be well, Pete," and same to you, sir. Hope you have a good Halloween. Do you say happy Halloween, or you know, I don't know. Have a scary time. Have a good stuff. I haven't done a Halloween painting challenge this year, simply because too much stuff going on. But hopefully next year we'll be back on track for that. So the Halloween painting challenge 2023 then. But so the Halloween painting challenge 2022. That's just gonna have to be for you guys. You guys crack on with that. And let me know what happens. Hopefully next year I can do something and make it a bit more structured as well, so that have a bit of fun, and we can incorporate some fun facts into that then as well for the whole month of October perhaps. Anyway, thanks for your time. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for this coming in to watch my P&Q. There will be P&Qs in the future, so feel free to leave questions here, but the next P&Q will possibly be the Christmas one. I'm hoping we'll be in by then, but if not, after that it's the New Year P&Q special, and then it'll be my birthday special, and then here we are again, the summer special, and then the Halloween special. We'll be back to where we are now. Anyway, guys, thanks ever so much for watching. Do give the video a thumbs up, give it a share, all that stuff. And check out Patreon. It's a really, really cool way of helping to support the channel. I know some of you do. That's really cool. If you don't, that's fine as well. But if you do, thank you so much. You will gain access to exclusive videos by doing that. And that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on another video. Until then, remember, all brushes lead to war. Bye bye. Ooh.